Star Wars Rebels return this week with the Siege of Lothal, and much like Spark of Rebellion, this is considered a TV movie and not the first episode of Season 2, but whatever, I'm splitting hairs here. As we dig on in, the crew of the Ghost is still teamed up with the Rebel fleet, helping them pull off dangerous missions against the Empire in deep space. One of the complaints from the first season was the lack of Clone Wars level space battles, something that the creators have clearly taken to heart and sought to remedy this season. It's a very far cry from the guerrilla warfare our heroes were doing in Season 1, and it leads Kanan and Hera to butt heads over the crew's direction. Kanan is still very much scarred by his time in the army during the Clone Wars and thinks that the crew of the Ghost should stay underground fighting from the shadows and not join the war full on, while Hera enjoys the strength in numbers and all the respect that she's been getting from Rebel High Command. These two, of course, being the mom and dad of the Ghost team, means that all the kids get caught in the crossfire. Eventually, our heroes are called back to Lothal when the governor contacts them about defecting with Empire secrets. She's terrified because Darth Vader has come to the planet to clean up her mess. Vader is a great addition to the show and very much a different kind of enemy than the rebels are used to fighting. He strikes at the heart of his foes and gets them to come to him. Action was in no short supply for this episode, plenty of blaster battles against troopers, and keeping up from last season, the show has a surprising body count which should put to rest any fears that the show would be kidified under Disney. Then there's of course the big battle against Vader himself. Kanan and Ezra aren't Luke and Han. They cannot stand against the might of a full-fledged Sith Lord. They get thrown around like rag dolls, and everything they throw at Vader is like throwing flea bites at a god. It's really all they can do to just try and escape, which they do with the help of a Lando cameo on what is quite possibly one of the smoothest droids I've ever seen. The siege on Lothal culminates in a massive space battle wherein again Vader shows what he's made of, and that he is indeed one of the greatest pilots of his age. And while Ahsoka doesn't mention her connection to the former Anakin Skywalker, she does shoot more than a couple knowing looks that makes me think they're going to come back to this later in the season. In the final scene, we even get an awesome voice cameo from the Emperor himself and more references to ObiWan Kenobi. The Siege of Lothal is a very solid outing for Rebels, and it's very much a refresher course on what's been happening with the characters, while also shaking up the status quo of the show and making it apparent that the crew of the Ghost can't go back to Lothal anytime soon. Overall, just a really great show. I give this one a very positive 8 out of 10, and I cannot wait for the rest of the season.